Gaming is the best it's ever been, by far. Look, before we get started, I'm not saying the industry is perfect. There's soulless slop, microtransaction-riddled downgrades, and every week studios manage to make some decision that pisses off their entire player base. All of that exists, none of that is imaginary. But for every AI-generated shooter on the market, there's a passion project that takes off, a AAA game that actually lands, and failing that, 20 years worth of games just sitting there waiting to be played. Assuming you can emulate without Nintendo breaking your legs. We've reached the point where trying to play every game that comes out is like trying to read every book in the world. It's just not realistic anymore. And it's not just quantity that's improved, it's quality too. I can be nostalgic for the old days. Couch multiplayer, cartoony mascot platformers, being called a big-ass cunt in COD lobbies. But what we had back then became the foundation for much more ambitious things. When I was first playing Dark Souls, I couldn't even imagine Elden Ring. And what's really crazy is, I'm not even saying that modern games are better than older ones. The old stuff just didn't disappear. You can still go back and experience it. Maybe. Through that, people get inspired to make something new, building on the old. And we just keep building and building. This is where indie games come in. Indie used to mean small projects, tiny budgets. It was impressive if one person could ship anything solid. Now, with modern tools, one person or a small group can make something that genuinely rivals a AAA title in quality. Games like Undertale, The Binding of Isaac, Hollow Knight. And when you scale that up to a small team of passionate people, you get stuff like Expedition 33, a game very clearly inspired by Final Fantasy, but still willing to take turn-based combat in a completely new direction. That kind of progression is a great example of using the past and what's worked before to make something new. Like, this kind of iteration happening so quickly is just absurd. One of the games that really reminded me why I love this medium is Earth Defense Force 6, or EDF 6. On paper, it's an arcadey horde shooter. Giant bugs, ridiculous weapons, low-budget presentation. You look at it and think you know exactly what it is. But then it just commits to this goofy story and it knocks it out of the park. EDF 6 has one of the best time travel stories I've ever experienced in a game. And not through cutscenes, they show it through gameplay. Missions repeat, your HUD will update as you jump between the bad future and the good one and the normal present day. Enemies behave differently and they slowly introduce new things, and you realize you're not replaying content, you're playing a game of cat and mouse as you try to prevent them from winning, and then they send back information that lets them win again. I played through it with a friend, and we were both genuinely gripped by where it was going, which is wild because, again, this is a game where you fight ants with rocket launchers. I still play this game solo sometimes, slowly grinding through hard mode missions that test your patience and your skill. Like this one time where I spent 20 minutes carefully cheesing a level, and then immediately friendly fired myself into dust. This game should not work as well as it does. And that's exactly why I love it. Trust me, I'm going to make a full video on EDF someday. I'm cutting myself off here before this turns into that video. And then if I'm going to talk about loving games, I can't ignore the Souls series. I could talk about the Souls games forever. The lore, the level design, the world structure, the way that the combat feels and flows. I've spent years picking these games apart, criticizing them, arguing about them, but at the end of the day, I just love them. When I was younger, I would come home from school and do challenge runs of Dark Souls 1. Half the time I wasn't even trying to be optimal, I was just making builds that matched whatever anime character I was obsessed with that week. Watching these games evolve over time, from Dark Souls to Elden Ring, genuinely feels like watching an idea grow up alongside the people playing it. What started rough and niche became more expressive, more confident, all without losing its identity. As much as I can nitpick Souls design, and believe me, I do, it's one of the few series where you can really see FromSoft bringing old ideas to life with the better technology that they have, in later games. One day, I'll probably be cheering my kid on while they play through Dark Souls. And also teaching them how not to get mad at video games. And then there's the competitive side of gaming. The fact that this exists at the scale it does is still kind of insane to me. 20 years ago, the idea of a professional gamer was a punchline. Now we have players like Faker, an actual League of Legends pro, who's exempt from mandatory military service in Korea because of his career. Famous idols don't get that, but a guy who's really, really good at League of Legends does. There are games now where being good enough will genuinely get you a paycheck, where competition is structured, respected, and as emotionally engaging as traditional sports. And yeah, I talk about balance and design on this channel a lot, sometimes critically, sometimes just my take on it, but at the core of it, I just love that this space exists at all. I love that I can play Marvel Rivals and be Spider-Man. I don't usually include live recordings in my videos because this is what it sounds like. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Bam! Does whatever a spider can. Can he swing from a web? Honestly, I just wish that everyone enjoyed gaming as much as I do. This is why, for all the times gaming can be frustrating, for all the bad decisions that companies can make, ethically or balance-wise, I've never really felt like gaming is dying. Or, at the very least, I'm having a pretty good time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm still trying to upload more, but honestly, talking into a mic is just kinda awkward for me. And social media in general, but hey, happy holidays, and till next time, see ya.